Let's talk about beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, the guy's just on a tear as of right now.
Yeah, well, we all remember the great run he had last year in the playoffs against the Saints, which is still like in kind of ingrained in the memory of so many football fans, where he just punctuated that great upset win by the Seahawks. But the truth be told, that was an anomaly last year. Marshawn Lynch did not have a great season. Did not have a great season last year, and even started off a little slow here. And looking right now, we got a great indicator called Russia Rating. It's by one of our contributors, Ken Crippen, who's also the executive director of the Pro Football Researchers Association. So this guy knows his football. And he puts this together each week, team Russia rating, defensive Russia rating, individual Russia rating. And right now, Marshawn Lynch just on fire. I mean, a Russia rating of better than 117 4 straight weeks. He's just tearing it up. And, the Seahawks almost put off the upset of the 49ers this week.
Well, you mentioned that up against the 49ers. I mean, there's a couple of things that come to mind that I want to go back to. The beginning of the season about how he started out, because, you mentioned the last season was just absolutely horrible, and then, kind of an anomaly, that one big rush that gave him the win. But then this year started off the first 5 games, I want to say he only carried the ball on average like 11 and a half times per game, which that killed him altogether. However, go ahead.
Well, the thing about Russia rating, it's just like passer rating, and the beauty of passer rating and Russia rating, it's not about volume. We look at all the time at the guy who passed the ball 40 times or ran the ball 40 times for 200 yards. Well, that's running a lot, but it doesn't mean you're running effectively. So Russia rating kind of adjusts for the fact that, are you running effectively no matter how many times you carry the ball? And the problem was, yes, he didn't carry the ball a lot early in the season. I'm looking at the numbers right now, 13 carries, 6 carries, 19 carries, 8 carries. The problem wasn't that he wasn't carrying the ball enough. It's that he wasn't effective when he was rushing the football. I mean, it took him 3-4 games before he finally scored a touchdown, just not playing well. And, of course, the great thing about this week for him against the 49ers, again, they lost the game, but San Francisco is the #1 scoring defense in football. They had an incredible run defense, and, of course, had not given up a rushing touchdown all year. He was the first guy to score a rushing touchdown against that team all season. So it's just kind of the end of a streak of several games in which he's just been in fuego, as they might say, running the football. And in that San Francisco defense, they'd gone 14 games with 0 rushing touchdowns allowed. Only 4 teams in history held the record of allowing 2 rushing touchdowns. The last time that happened was 40 years ago, the 1971 Vikings. So that was a great run defense, and he had a great day against a really good unit.
And you mentioned about, the rating has to do with how effective that person is. And the one thing I was looking at going through all the numbers that you guys had broken down was he's effective, incredibly effective on the longer yard play. So if it's 1st and 10 or 1st and longer, if not, because of a penalty, or 3rd and long, he's incredibly effective. That's when he seems to rack up the numbers.
Yeah, and he's just been racking them up, incredibly in the last couple weeks. And couple critical measures of Russia rating. 1, do you put the ball in the end zone? 2, your average per attempt, which we look at in all our indicators, even our offensive and defensive hog indices. We don't look at total, like NFL ranks teams on yards, which are useless measures of team success. We do everything by effectiveness, averages per attempt. So we look at what is he averaging per attempt? Is he getting the ball in the end zone? And is he fumbling? Teams talk about, so-and-so a player is #1 in the NFL in rushing yards. Yeah, but if he lost 10 fumbles, that doesn't help you much. And he's gone 5 straight games now without losing a fumble. So really racking up, a great average per attempt, putting the ball in the end zone and not turning it over.
Yeah, the stats, it's the highlight stat that everybody, well, he ran over 1,000 yards, the first one since Sean Alexander did it. Guess what? That's your fantasy stat. But that doesn't necessarily equate to wins.
And the cold hard football facts are the exact opposite of fantasy numbers. We do delve into, fantasy stats, but fantasy football is won by, and sometimes we call it imaginary fake football. It's won by volume stats. How many attempts, how many yards, how many touchdowns.
Absolutely.
NFL games on Sunday are won by efficient teams. The most efficient teams win and lose games. And just look defensively, to look at passing. All these great teams with great records, the Packers, the Saints, the Patriots, all give up tons of yards defensively, but they're very efficient teams no matter how much volume there is. And it works on offense, it works on defense.